Second way. Everything happens on its own. This statement contains numerous impossibilities. It is invalid and irrational from every perspective. Here, we will demonstrate 3 examples of these impossibilities. First example, O stubborn denier! Your ego and arrogance have made you so foolish that you accept the possibility of 100 impossibilities at once. First of all, you are a living being. You are not a simple, inanimate, and unchanging matter. Secondly, you are like an incredibly orderly machine, or a marvelous, ever-changing palace, constantly moving and renewing itself. Every moment, particles are working within your body. The food you eat is digested and broken down into glucose, amino acids, and minerals, all of which are flawlessly transported to their destinations. Your body is connected with the universe, especially concerning your sustenance and species continuation. To sustain life, you need the atmosphere to breathe oxygen, water to drink, sunlight to synthesize vitamin D, soil to grow plants, and essential minerals like iron, among others. The particles in your body work diligently to maintain this relationship and connection. They act with caution, almost as if they are observing the entire universe and adjusting themselves according to your relations within it. You benefit from this wondrous arrangement of particles with your visible and invisible senses. If you do not acknowledge that the particles in your body are tiny servants operating under the laws of the eternal power, forming an army inside you, being the tips of the pen of destiny, each particle being a pen tip, or points of the pen of power, each particle being a point, you must imagine that every single particle working in your eye, for example, possesses knowledge of the entire universe, such as the sun, other stars, photons, retinal layers, cornea, and iris. It would also know all your past, future, lineage, origin, including your inherited genetic material and those before you, the sources of the materials in your body, like each atom in your eye, knowing and directing your small intestines on what to send to the eye, and the chemistry of your sustenance. Each particle would need the intelligence of 100 geniuses. This is an absurd superstition. Second example. Your body resembles a magnificent palace with 1,000 domes. In each dome, the stones are arranged without any support, suspended in space. Your body is even more astonishing than this palace because it is constantly renewed with perfect order. Even if we ignore the extraordinary soul, heart, and spiritual faculties, each organ in your body is like a domed dwelling. The particles, like the stones in the dome. To understand this dome analogy, first you must notice that atoms form genetic material, which in turn forms proteins. Proteins build organelles, and organelles make cells. These cells come together to form tissues, and tissues combine to form organs. Finally, organs connect to form a human like you. It's 6 layers of perfection, each building upon the last, resulting in the final being that is you, coming together in a perfect balance and order, creating a wondrous structure, showcasing extraordinary art and miraculous power, like the eye and the tongue. If you do not accept that these particles are servants obeying the command of the master of this universe, you must acknowledge that each particle, while being very limited and absolute in itself, has absolute authority over all other particles in the body, is both absolutely dominant and subservient to them, is both like them and their opposite in terms of dominance, and is the source of most attributes exclusive to the necessary creator of the universe. Attributing such an orderly, artistic existence, which can only be the work of a singular and one being, to countless particles is hundreds of times impossible. Third example. If you do not accept that your body is a letter from the pen of the one and eternal power, and consider it as a book produced by nature and causes, then starting from a single cell in your body, there must be countless natural molds for every combined substance within. Just like concentric circles, each organelle in your cell, your cells, tissues, and organs. For example, if this book in our hand were a letter, a single pen could write it entirely based on the knowledge of its author. If it is not considered a letter and not attributed to its author's pen, claiming it made itself or attributing it to nature, then, like a printed book, each letter would require a separate iron pen for printing. Just as a printing press has iron letters for each letter of the alphabet to print a book, in this case, instead of a single pen, you would need as many pens as there are letters. Sometimes it's like writing an entire page in fine lines within a single large letter with a tiny pen. That one letter would require thousands of pens. If the letters merge into one another to form an orderly shape, like your body, then each section of that composite would require as many molds as the number of combined materials. Even if you accept the highly improbable notion that this could happen, to craft these intricate, artfully designed metal letters, perfect molds, and pens, you would still need as many pens, molds, and letters as there are parts. Because each of those parts is also created with meticulous artistry, and this chain continues infinitely. So understand that this idea contains as many impossibilities and absurdities as there are particles in your body. O stubborn disbeliever, be ashamed and abandon this delusion.